How do we know where we're going? Well, a pretty good way is to look in the past and see where we come from. Angelo DePaola, the Coastal Connection with eXp Realty. Right now, we're going to look at fourth quarter 2024 versus fourth quarter 2023 as a whole versus 2024. And then I'm going to give you kind of my thoughts on what I think maybe happened. Fourth quarter 2023, Dauphin Island up almost 10% in a sales volume. Gulf Shores down almost 29% number of transactions. Orange Beach up almost 2.5%. The average sales price, Dauphin Island was up a little over 6%. Gulf Shores up almost 9%. And Orange Beach up almost 12%. Took a little bit longer to sell fourth quarter 2024 versus 23. Dauphin Island up 7%, Gulf Shores up 40%, Orange Beach up 32%. All right, so let's look into Florida and see what we see over there. Transactions in Perdido Key down 13.5%. Pensacola up almost 7%. Destin down almost 28%. 30A down almost 7%. Panama City down almost 10%. The average sales price in Perdido Key down almost 5%. Pensacola Beach down a little over 5%. Destin down a little about 12.5%. 30A up almost 15%. Panama City down almost 10%. Days on market, we're up 120% in Perdido Key, up 55% Pensacola Beach, up 26% Destin, up 55% 30A, up 61% in Panama City. So we're seeing almost across the board transaction count down, except for Orange Beach and Dauphin Island, which is kind of what we'd expect. We knew we were having less transactions this year. Sales prices down in most markets, except for 30A, Orange Beach, Dauphin Island, Gulf Shores. I think you could break that down into condos versus houses, and we're actually going through that exercise right now for a client. So if you kind of want a little deeper dive into what your property may be worth, reach out to us. We can do a little bit of homework and get you a little bit more exact value. What's 23 compared to 24? I think we can kind of figure out a little bit what 25 might look like by looking at this. Total transactions, Dauphin Island down almost 17%. Gulf Shores down almost 25%. Orange Beach down a little over 15%. The average sales prices, Dauphin Island's down a little over 4%. Gulf Shores up on average 6.45%. and Orange Beach up on average 0.33%. I think here again we'd look at product category and really see where that stood. Perdido Key year over year totals 23 versus 24 down 21% transactions. Pensacola down 8%. Destin down 25%. 30A down 8%. Panama City down 17%. Average sales prices, Perdido Key down 8%. Pensacola Beach up almost 4%. Destin down a little over 1%. 30A up almost 5%. Panama City Beach down almost 8%. Here are my thoughts. When I look at the number of transaction count down, this really probably affects the real estate industry more than it affects the consumer. There's just less transactions, so there's less realtors, there's less lenders, home inspectors. Anybody around that industry is making less money for the most part. That is why it is so important to deal with a professional that has the capital to weather the storm, and in our case, actually be up 25% in transaction count in sales volume. Here's the other thing. We went through a phase during COVID with a lot of transactions, big price swings upwards. As transaction count came down, prices have come down slightly in most cases. We are seeing a normalization on the market, and we're seeing a normalization in prices. So what I find interesting, property that seemed overpriced last year, all of a sudden seems to be priced well. It's a psychological kind of effect, right? If you look across the market, everything you see in a certain category seems to be a certain price. Some might stick out a little bit low. Some might stick out a little bit high. If it was high last year, it may feel right this year, right? And the other thing is, things are just kind of getting baked into the market. We're pretty stable. We're down a fair amount of real estate agents. People that are in it this year probably can stay in it. We have the right amount of agents for the right amount of transactions where we're at right now. The right amount of inventory for the right amount of people searching. So that's why prices seem to have normalized and stabilized. We will see probably slight increases this year. We're not going to see big changes. So the question is, are interest rates okay for you, right? I think interest rates are going to be what they are. They seem to be fairly detached from the federal fund rate right now, which is normal. They are more attached, which is historically what they've always been, to the 10-year Treasury. 10-year Treasury's up. We'll see what the current administration does to get that down and get interest rates back down. But it's not going to come down if the economy keeps doing good. So that's a good thing. We have a good, strong economy. We have what I consider a fair interest rate. House prices seem to stabilize for people that want lower priced houses or lower interest rates. There are builders out there building houses for those people. They are priced correctly. Builders still seem to be buying interest rates down, and affordability will gradually get leveled out. That's my thoughts on that. I expect a lot of what we saw last year is what we'll see this year. If you would like to reach out to us, send us a DM. You can go to our website, thecoastalconnection.com. Our phone number, email, everything's on there. Just reach out to us. Thank you. Have a great day. Catch you next time.